Hello.
Hello everybody.
Very different video from the ones we normally do,
Yes.
but we're just going to read something to you and then I've got a couple of things to say at the end. I could say a lot more, but I won't.
Yes, we could. Right below the camera we have the laptop, so I will be looking down as I read, and so please just bear with us as we go through the following statement. Okay, here we go. In tribute to Cynthia and Raymond Franz.
I'll push it up for you, baby.
Yeah, push it. Thank you very much. I am Deborah Dykstra, the sole owner of the copyrights of Raymond Franz works. Here you will find what I have been doing since acquiring the copyright. On the internet, many have expressed assumptions about me, and disparaging, uninformed statements have been made against me. Now I will tell my story. I have been the copyright owner of the writings of Raymond Franz since June the 1st, 2013. At that time, Cynthia Franz was still alive. She was selling both of her late husband's books on Amazon.com. I assisted her to do that. She asked me to wait to publish any additional books until she had sold her entire stock of books. I was more than happy to comply. Even though the books were readily available on Amazon.com for under $30, a copyright infringer started selling pirated copies on Amazon.com using CreateSpace to produce them. They were also proliferating the books on multiple websites all over the world. The infringement was pervasive. The perpetrators priced their copies just below what Cynthia was selling hers for. The sales of her books went away overnight. When I discovered this infringement, Cynthia was very upset, feeling that her late husband and his works were not being honoured. Nor were her wishes or his widow being honoured. She directed me to do whatever I could do to insist any and all copyright infringers would be called upon to cease and desist their activity. I promised her I would. I hired a copyright attorney in August 2013. He said that until the US Library of Congress actually posted my June 2013 transfer of copyrights, he could not bring any infringement to trial in federal court or protest copyright infringement with Amazon.com or CreateSpace. Additionally, I learnt that a basic registration of a copyright takes about 3 months. However, a transfer takes 1.5 to 2 years to complete. Since my copyrights were a transfer, I would need to wait a long time. I informed the copyright attorney that I had turned in all the necessary paperwork to the US Library of Congress in June 2013. Now we needed to wait to take legal action. Upon the advice of my legal counsel, I became silent about the copyright, publishing books, etc. Many people were frustrated that I was not answering their questions about the copyrights. The perpetrators had been very careful to shield their identity. Since I had no idea who the copyright infringers were, my attorney did not want me to say anything to anyone. Prior to my discovery of the infringer on Amazon.com, which included many websites, I had my sights on a very reputable publisher. With the pervasiveness of the infringement, they were no longer a viable option for me to pursue. The publishers are uninterested in a complicated situation. While I waited for the US Library of Congress to post the transfer of the copyrights, Cynthia shared with me all the trouble Ray had with copyright infringement over the years. As soon as he would put an end to one infringement, another one would pop up. This astounded me because Ray always published his books at a very reasonable price and shipped them out one by one himself. There were ample books available through Ray at a reasonable price. So why were people infringing on his rights? I wish I had the answer. However, even with the above history, Cynthia was heartbroken over how blatant the perpetrators on Amazon.com were, and insisted that I do everything I feasibly could to bring an end to it. Once again, I promised her I would. On December the 29th, 2013, Cynthia Franz died without resolution on the infringement on Amazon.com. I am sorry that she did not have that peace of mind before she died. Nevertheless, in April 2015, the US Library of Congress had registered the transfer of the copyrights to me. Now my copyright attorney was willing to send out a cease and desist letter to anyone and take it, if need be, to a federal court. He sent out a letter to Amazon.com and they revealed the infringer. He then sent a letter to the infringer. By the first week in May 2015, the perpetrator of the infringement on Amazon.com had agreed not to infringe on the copyright henceforth. Nevertheless, there was never restitution paid because of the insolvency of the part of the perpetrator. I had paid out thousands of dollars in legal fees to stop the illegal activity without getting any money back. Where I do miss the money I paid out, I'm not sorry I spent it stopping the infringer. If need be, I will do it again. It's very important to me to preserve the integrity of Raymond Franz's books. When people purchase or receive in some form an illegal copy, how do they know for sure if all the words that are written are what Raymond Franz wrote? If someone is so blatant as to justify infringement of a copyright, how do we know they will stop there? Is the story the same? Have any of the words been removed or added? This was a big concern of both Raymond and Cynthia Franz. It is of great concern to me. With the Amazon.com infringers stopped the first week of May 2015, I had plans to move very quickly to seek publishing of Crisis of Conscience. However, before I could do that, I became very ill. And from May the 2nd to September the 27th of this year, I could not eat solid food. The saga all ended with surgery on September the 23rd. I'm happy to report that since my surgery, I have been able to eat solid food. I have gained 12 much needed pounds as well as strength. I have high hopes that I will be back to myself in a few months. In fact, it has been a couple of weeks now that I feel strong enough to take on the task of getting Crisis of Conscience published. I have been weighing my options. Nevertheless, it has recently come to my attention that there are other blatant infringers of Raymond Franz's works on the internet. One has risen above the others in his unashamed promotion of bootlegged copies of Crisis of Conscience on YouTube. As you can see, I am posting a worldwide cease and desist letter on this webpage. I am also contacting the above mentioned person directly. Even as I move to stop him, I realise he is not the first and will unlikely be the last. Nevertheless, I am dedicated to step by step address each and every copyright infringer that I become aware of. It is incredible to me that many justify engaging in illegal activity to produce books that expose the lies of the Watchtower organisation. How does that make any kind of sense? Raymond Franz was a man of integrity. Every one of us should rightly honour his memory by treating his books with integrity. I'm putting out a public plea to assist me in maintaining the integrity of Raymond Franz's works. Please let any copyright infringers, perpetrators, pirates and bootleggers know about this webpage. Also, please let me know if they do not comply. I am also asking that no one purchase, receive for free or promote illegal copies of Raymond Franz works. Infringers will not be motived to produce the illegal copies if you do not purchase them. Most importantly, out of respect for Ray and all he stood for, please honour him.
Amen.
I am presently considering 3 different routes to publishing Crisis of Conscience. I hope to make a decision within days and plan to publish within weeks. Please stay tuned on what I am doing. I plan to update this webpage with the latest information concerning the publishing of Raymond Franz works in print, Kindle and electronic formatting. I plan to work very hard to make Crisis of Conscience available to everyone that would like to have a copy. Very truly yours, Deborah Dykstra. And then underneath we have the worldwide Cease-and-Desist Letter, which says the following. I, Deborah Dykstra, am the sole owner and registered copyright holder of all of Raymond Franz publications since June the 1st, 2013. My copyrights include, but not limited to, Crisis of Conscience, and it goes through the 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th editions with their numbers. And then 2, In Search of Christian Freedom, 1st and 2nd edition with the TX numbers alongside. Then her wording, and I quote again, consider this notification in bold to all those and any who are currently creating and circulating unlawful copies of the works of author Raymond Franz in any format, including but not limited to printing books, digital, electronic, i.e. PDF, or phonorecords which are protected under the United States copyright laws, that your actions infringe on my exclusive copyrights. See 17 U.S.C. 106. Any acts to produce and distribute without prior written agreement are unlicensed and constitute violations of the Copyright Act of 1976, codified at Title 17 of the United States Code, and corresponding provisions of other national copyright laws. Accordingly, you are hereby directed to cease and desist all copyright infringement of the above entitled works. It has come to my attention that some people have been copying the works of Raymond Franz, i.e. Crisis of Conscience and In Search of Christian Freedom, distributing these works for their own personal use and personal gain. Under the US Copyright Act, Title 17 of the US Code, infringements of copyright may be remedied by injunctive release, destruction of infringing articles, and awards of damages. Further, upon registration of a work, the copyright owner may receive court costs and attorney's fees, and in lieu of actual damages, may elect to receive statutory damages. These damages are awarded at the court's discretion and may be up to $30,000 for ordinary infringement and up to $150,000 for willful infringements. 17 U.S.C. 504-505. Further, under 17 U.S.C. 506, any person who infringes a copyright willfully for purposes of commercial advantage or private gain shall be guilty of criminal infringement and subject to fines and imprisonment. Accordingly, I therefore demand that those committing these violations to immediately cease and desist, and all unlawful copying, circulating, marketing, distribution for free, and all sale of the above stated copyright publications, including destroying infringing materials. If any persons continue to engage in copyright infringement after the posting of this letter, your actions will be evidence of willful infringement. This includes, but is not limited to, unauthorised selling of copies of printed hard or softbound books, unauthorised circulation of PDF and other digital or electronic copies, unauthorised file sharing, Vimeo, Dropbox, etc., unauthorised creation of hard or softbound books from PDF copies, unauthorised phono records, any audio recordings of books. Note that copyrights are still being infringed upon even if you are not profiting from these unauthorized copies and are sharing them without cost or charge. It is still a violation of copyright laws, even if you give it away, and there can still be serious damages awarded because you have hurt the commercial value of the copyrighted property. For those who do not comply with this cease and desist demand immediately, I am entitled to use your failure to comply as evidence of willful infringement. I will contemplate pursuing all available legal remedies, including seeking monetary damages, injunctive relief, and an order that you may pay court costs and attorney's fees. Your liability and exposure under such legal action could be considerable. Restitution and contributions. Presently, there is only one group with my permission to publish and distribute Raymond Franz's books. They are Ostig in Germany, and they presently have my permission to publish and distribute Raymond Franz's books in German, no other language. Their website is www, and we'll show the link anyway. There have been other infringers that I have discovered along the way, primarily giving away free PDFs. Since Raymond Franz died, all that I was aware of, I sought and had removed from the internet. Nevertheless, I have recently been told by some people that there are and were others. Even when the PDFs or other forms of the book are given away free, it hurts the marketability / commercial value of the copyright material. That is why it is illegal to do so. Some people have expressed regret that they participated in putting up free PDFs and have requested to make some kind of restitution, and have asked that I provide a link to my PayPal account. If this applies to you, whoever you are, I respect you greatly. If you send funds to me for this reason, I will accept it with no questions asked. I will not pursue any kind of action whatsoever. I will simply thank you for your honesty in my heart and respect you greatly for your effort to make it right with me. There is another group of people that would like to help with my legal fees, etc., and contribute to the cause of maintaining the integrity of Raymond Franz's works. I am very emotional as I write this, as I find it hard to accept. On one hand, I want to say no, and yet, truth be told, it would certainly assist me. As I have pondered this, I need to humbly say yes. If you are moved to contribute even $1 for this purpose, I am deeply grateful to you. Click the button below to make contributions, and then there's her donate button. So that's the end of the quote. That's exactly what Deborah Dijkstra has put out, and it's on her website, which we'll provide the link for. It is very clear, it is very emphatic in its explanation of where she sits right now with her. Any decisions that she makes are hers and hers alone. They do not belong to anybody else, regardless of whether or not she sits on it or does something with it. It's her legal right to have it as it is right now.
That's the quietest I've been in a very long time.
It is done.
I never interrupted you once.
No.
First of all, I want to say, I think we both want to say, Deborah, we're so sorry that you've had to go through all the stress that you have with this, yet again, taking on, obviously, the pains and struggles that Cynthia and Ray faced themselves with their own, trying to stop people infringing on their rights. And obviously being ill as well, that must have not helped your illness at all. And especially the last thing you want is coming out the other end where you seem to be on the road to recovery, suddenly having to deal with all this again. So our hearts and our loves and our prayers go out to you.
They certainly do.
And we want to say we wish you that you get well soon. And trust me, you have all of us standing behind you.
There are many, many people out there that will support you on this.
Whatever you decide to do with the book, I mean, the fact that you want to get it out there is quite evident that you've been at this now for the last few years. trying very hard and having to play the patient waiting game until you were able to do such legal actions with regards to the book by having the legal right to copy it with your copyrights. So we totally understand, and we absolutely feel for you having to go through what you have done. For you and your family, it must be horrific. I want to also say about the fact that when it comes to PDF copies and it comes to any hardback, softback books that have been produced, what I don't understand and never have done, never will, is when we look at issues, we never look at who it is, what their beliefs are, what's happening. When it comes to drama, Mark and I do not get involved with it. We see enough drama going on in the world. We've got a lot of drama going on in everybody's families without having to air it on the internet.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to drag all that up. There's an awful lot we could say on this issue, but we won't do, because this isn't the place to do it, and we would keep that very personal. But what I've never understood is when people try to justify, as Cynthia's written there, when people try to justify this copyright infringement, when they want to take something that isn't theirs but justify being able to reproduce it with the excuse of, well, they're not doing anything with it, it needs to be out there. None of that is valid.
It's totally irrelevant.
It's completely nothing to do with it at all. The point is, when somebody has the copyright to something, it is entirely up to that person whether they do anything with it. And quite clearly, in your case, Cynthia, you have been busy doing stuff. So I think that with certain things that have happened recently, you definitely need an apology. And we'll wait to see if that happens. But we would like to just say we send our love to you. I don't think we'll say very much more on this subject.
No, I just
could do, but we won't.
Yeah, I know there's a lot we could say, but it's probably best left. But what I did want to say is that most people that will be watching this and reading your website and the words that you've said will be clapping with joy over this and congratulating you on it at being able to express how you feel, but more importantly, that you are looking to share this book with the world, because it is the book of books when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's helped so many people, and it will help many in the future. So that's what all of us want to see out there and access.
We'll be first in the queue to buy some copies of you. But in the meantime,
legal ones.
Yes, from you. The other thing I was going to say is, obviously at the bottom of that what Mark's just read out, there is a donate button, and I think that if anyone is actually feeling that strongly about helping this book get out there, there's no better way to do it than to actually contribute to the legal copy owner, the copyright owner, to actually get the book out there. So the fact that those PayPal details are linked to this particular webpage, if your heart moves you to do so and you really want to help this, and you have no other reason, you haven't ever touched a PDF illegal copy or a hardback illegal copy, then if your heart just moves you to do it, then do so, because that's the way you can help.
There are lots of people that have shared PDFs. Now, if you are one of those people, then she's opening up an olive branch there to say, please just let your conscience flow. Donate something and make your peace. This has been an education here.
Let your conscience be your guide. I'm going to turn into a Pinocchio song.
So it's about donations, it's about conscience, it's about making sure that this is secure. It's about looking after the integrity of Raymond Franz.
Yes. I know. Mark feels very passionate because this was the very first book that Mark ordered. And Raymond, he's always had a very strong love for Raymond Franz, as we all have, who've had this connection for helping us see the light through the false light we were all in. So we're going to leave it there, and we're going to send our love to everyone, and just keep strong, everyone. And anyone that is doing illegal activity, we hope you cease and desist. So we'll say goodbye.
Thank you.
Lots of love.